What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're in Westminster and we're gonna go up north up to Los Angeles in this Los Angeles traffic. It's only 3:15 right now, but there's definitely gonna be a ton of Los Angeles traffic on the way up. So let's see how Autopilot does in today's commute. All right, let's get on our way. 3:18 p.m., 67 degrees out, nice and bright and sunny for Autopilot. All right, so we're gonna jump on the 405 north and then take the 110 north through this Los Angeles traffic. Thanks for watching another video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I just got this Tesla Model 3 and I make videos about my experience, including a weekly Autopilot video in Los Angeles traffic. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. So a couple things that are new to the interior, probably from the last video that you saw, or from the last Autopilot traffic video. We have the dash cap, which is in matte black. I didn't install it yet. I just let it sit on there for now just to see if I like the look of it. But I did install this kind of ABS plastic in matte black to protect the center console from scratches or anything, because I was starting to notice some scratches already coming up, which is kind of crazy already. Okay, so we're gonna make it past this on-ramp and then we're gonna turn on Autopilot. In terms of what version this is 2019.40.2.1. All right, so going at 65 miles an hour, cruise control is set at a 75 miles an hour. We're just gonna tail this car. It looks like no traffic at the moment. Navigation says it's gonna take another 47 minutes to go 31 miles, and we should arrive by 4:08 p.m. Okay, Autopilot once again in the left lane. I do wanna switch off the auto confirmation for lane change, because I heard with this newest update that Autopilot is a little bit better. So I do want to see if it can kind of drive and lane change on its own without asking for confirmation. I'm a little hesitant though, because I know how iffy and not confident Autopilot lane change is, and so I'd rather kind of let me confirm whether it should lane change or not. So CF Tesla, I watched a video from him where he actually drove on Autopilot, and he has this thing where he rates the drive, and every single time that Autopilot kind of glitches or screws up, he takes a point away from Autopilot, but he starts at 10. So I really like that idea, so I might try and mimic that as well in our drives to kind of give the drive a scoring. But with traffic in LA, I just feel like it's just gonna mess up and we're never gonna get a passing score from Autopilot. All right, so it looks like we're gonna slow down a little bit. Oh, heavy braking. Hopefully that's not too dark for you guys. Okay, slowing down a little bit, down to 32 miles an hour. A little bit of traffic as we enter that Long Beach airport area. Okay, some jerking and braking by Autopilot there. It wants to go into the left lane, but it doesn't realize that the left lane is actually a carpool lane. So it just wants to get in that lane because it's a faster lane according to Autopilot. Okay, so Autopilot is increasing speed to 70 miles an hour. It's kind of swaying in this lane a little bit, either to the left side of the lane as we make this right turn, or the right side as it makes adjustments. We're a little bit close to this car. If I was driving normally, I would never hang out in this blind spot, or basically the blind spot of this car. So that's one adjustment that Autopilot could probably do. The truck just got out of this lane, so it's going to increase speed now, or it's actually not, because we're only going at a maximum of 75 miles an hour. So one of the newest features with this update is called adjacent lane speeds, where it tries to recognize the speed of lanes adjacent to you, so that if it starts to slow down and you're going fast, it tries to predict that, so it will slow down earlier than a car just stopping in front of you and coming to a complete stop. There already has been, I've noticed though, that there already has been a few situations where the cars in the adjacent lanes were going faster, and the cars in the current lane you aren't going as fast, but they start to accelerate. It is a little bit hesitant on accelerating and closing that gap, because it's trying to predict that the other lanes are going to slow down as well. I've noticed though that since it's monitoring cars in the adjacent lanes, if the adjacent lane cars are pretty much at a standstill or a slow speed, but the cars in your lane start to accelerate pretty rapidly, it has hesitated a couple times for me in closing that gap or accelerating because it recognizes cars in your adjacent lanes as being stopped. So I've caught it being a little bit confused in those situations. So we're coming up on our highway interchange or highway exit in 7 miles or onto Route 10. Autopilot still wants to get into the left lane because it thinks it's faster, but it doesn't recognize that it's a double solid lane, or I guess it does, but it still wants to go into the left lane, and it's an HOV lane. Yeah, that's weird. Autopilot recognizes it's a double solid line, but it's still wanting to go into that faster lane. Now it's recognizing that the right lane is a faster lane, so it wants to get into that one. Once we see that it has enough space, I'm going to go ahead and confirm that auto lane change to the right lane. So there is a car that's in the right lane. It's a little bit close. I was going to get into the right lane right at that point, but I decided we'll just wait a little bit because that car is not going fast enough. So we would just, Autopilot would just pace that car and slow down our overall speed. All right, so pretty smooth ride so far. Still going 70 to 75 miles an hour. I don't necessarily expect any traffic until the next highway, until we get to 110 North. So we'll see, but we'll just jump on the toll road and we'll just breeze by all of that. The one thing that'll be very interesting to see is because we're going to be in the toll road and, oh wow, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the car that car just veered into our lane just a tad bit. I'm surprised Autopilot didn't freak out there and try and brake. The one thing that'll be very interesting is once we get into the toll road on the 110 North, it's going to be recognizing all the cars in the adjacent lanes going at a slower speed. So I can almost bet that Autopilot will freak out when we're on the 110 in the toll lanes. Okay, so we need to start following the route. Let's go ahead and signal the lane change. Okay, first one is pretty good. We have 2 miles into the exit, so let's go ahead and do it again. A little bit of braking there. Second one is good. Now we're in the blind spot of this infinity, so I wonder if in one of the future updates Autopilot's going to recognize kind of blind spots of cars and to either brake or accelerate out of a car's blind spot, even though it has to get out of cruise control or speed limit range. Let's go ahead and trigger the lane change again. Seems like these cars are going faster as well, so we should increase the speed. Going 70 miles an hour, I'm going to increase to 75 miles an hour. Okay, getting off the exit now. Let's see how Autopilot handles this. It did get a little confused at that highway split. It was trying to figure out if we were going left or right at that exit. Wow, it's taking this exit pretty fast, 75 miles an hour. Just zooming past all these cars in the right lane. Left lane is pretty wide open until we get to the toll road. Okay, so we're entering where we can jump onto the toll road. Let's go ahead and trigger that. And pretty smooth. Okay, so here we go. So now it's going to freak out. Good thing there's no one behind me because right now it wants to go back into the right lane to follow route. But we're going to go ahead and just make it stick onto the express lane. Still wants to get into the right lane. Okay, so now I've just gone ahead and canceled it. It's just going to stay in this lane. Good thing there was no one behind me because it was braking pretty heavily to try and force us to go into the right lane. So Autopilot Autopilot is recognizing some of these traffic or highway splitters as cones, which is kind of funny. You can kind of see it on the visualization screen when you pass by it. So now Autopilot wants to change lane away from these cones, but it doesn't realize that that lane isn't necessarily a lane and it ends. So at that section, Autopilot always recognizes that, or thinks that that area is a toll, like a toll pass or toll like booth, but it's not. So we're just gonna drive through it. Okay, going pretty fast, 75 miles an hour. Looks like the cars in the adjacent lane are also going pretty fast as well, so should expect no issues. I wonder if Autopilot's going to try and recommend us to get out of the lane. Yep, away from the cones, exactly. It also wants us to get into the left lane because it's a faster lane, or it recognizes that it's a faster lane instead of following behind this Avalon. Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of this lane, get into the left lane. I just noticed that maybe these cones weren't there before. I feel like people could have just gone in and they just put these cones up, because you could always kind of enter in the toll express lanes if you wanted to, but now they put these cones up so you can't actually just enter in illegally. So here's one glitch. Autopilot doesn't necessarily recognize that we're in an express lane, and so it wants us to get back into the normal lanes so it can go straight through the 110 instead of taking off this exit. So now it's slowly braking for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and take over manually and get out of the left lane. Okay, so now Autopilot wants to get away from these cones, so it wants us to get in the left lane. Even though when we get into the left lane, it's going to want to get back into the right lane. A little bit of braking it just did right there for no reason at all. So you can see Autopilot is just freaking out right now. It wants to go in the left lane, then it wants to get away from these cones, and now it's staying in the right lane. Which is a nice safety feature if you think about it, to try and get it away from the cones. Okay, Autopilot is just completely coming down slowly for some reason. I'm just going to overtake this because there's buses coming behind us. I'm going to go ahead and get into the left lane. I'm basically just overriding the slowdown right now because it just wants to slow down. Yep, there we go. Some more slowing down. Some more braking again. So this is what I was talking about. Everybody on that side is going really slow, and it's just freaking out and starting braking and braking. Or it thinks that we should go into that right lane, so it's just trying to like, hey. It's just trying to say like, hey, let's go ahead and like switch out and go to that lane. Okay, so this is basically our exit. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like if you enjoyed this video. And how would you rate today's drive on Autopilot? I'd probably give it an average, maybe even less than average, because of all the different freakouts that it did on the drive. But yeah, comment below on what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!